Hey guys, what's going on? True Strength here, and today we're going to be doing a Legion pre-patch guide for the Affliction Warlock. With the release of the new expansion, Warlock's got some new exciting changes, so without further ado, let's jump straight into it. We'll be starting off with the talents, so in the level 15 tier, we will be going with Wrath of Agony. This causes your Agony to ramp up twice as high, which means instead of just building up to 10 stacks and staying there, it will ramp up to 20 stacks. This causes it to do a decent amount more damage, but at the downside it does take more time to ramp up, of course. So around 10 to 12 stacks you will have to make sure to reapply it, and then of course continuously reapply it before it expires at the 20 stacks, because if you let it fall, we lose a lot of damage and it takes forever to ramp it back up. So just make sure that whenever you put up Agony to keep it refreshed, even if you have to do it a few seconds early so that you don't forget, make sure to keep this up. But as for leveling, when it comes to leveling, whenever the Legion expansion actually launches, you will be playing with Haunt, as Agony really won't have a long enough time to stay on the target to build up to its 20 stacks. So just whenever it comes time to level, just make sure you play with Haunt, as it does a decent amount of damage, just direct damage. Now, as you notice, Haunt is now a talent that is no longer a baseline ability. We lost this in Legion, and they added it in as a talent. It doesn't affect our dots at all. It's just a baseline amount of damage. And if they die within those 15 seconds, the cooldown is reset. And as you can tell, it's only a 15-second cooldown. So yeah, just for leveling purposes, go with Haunt. For the PvP at the moment, play with Wrath of Agony. It's great. It does a ton of damage. Just you have to really make sure not to let it fall off, as it can be kind of catastrophic to our damage. For the level 30 tier, I play with Contagion. This causes your Unstable Affliction, increases all your damage on the target by 15%. Which we'll get into Unstable Affliction momentarily when we go over some of the abilities. You know what, actually, let's go ahead and cover Unstable Affliction. Unstable Affliction now costs a Soul Shard. That is what we use our Soul Shards for. And it, of course, stacks. So if you apply one stack and then apply another one directly after that, it's going to stack in damage done. Unstable Affliction is now more or less our burst. We just want to maintain our regular dots, which are Corruption, Agony, and Siphon Life. And then when we see the opportunity to burst, we will apply around 3 stacks of Unstable Affliction. So yeah, we'll jump in that momentarily, a little bit more in depth. Level 45 tier, play with Demon Skin. Your Soul Leech absorption now passively recharges at a rate of 1% of your maximum health every 1 second, and may now absorb up to 20% of your maximum health. As you can see up here in your buffs, we have Soul Leech, which absorbs 72,000 damage. So just chilling out here, not doing anything, we automatically have a defensive shield around us. Before they can even touch our health bars, they have to eat through that 72,000 damage. And that is a passive, and it constantly regens every 1 second. So you constantly have like an absorption shield on you. So compared to the other talents, this is just a really good defensive. You could possibly play with Mortal Coil or Howl of Terror to have extra CC, but we have a spammable fear. On the level 60 tier, we will be taking Siphon Life. Siphon Life is another dot as well as a self heal. It siphons the target's life essence, dealing 38,000 damage over 15 seconds and healing you for 100% of the damage it deals. So this is a decent amount of damage and also a great self-heal. As many targets as you can put this on, every time it deals damage to that target. If it deals 30,000 damage, it's going to heal you for 30,000 damage. If it deals 20,000, it's going to heal you for 20,000. So just whatever it is ticking for, it's going to heal you for that amount every single time. So having this put on 2 or 3 targets, once again, not only is it a good amount of damage, it's also a great self-heal. Level 75 tier, I play with Dark Pact. Dark Pact is on a 1 minute cooldown. It sacrifices 20% of your demon's current health to shield you for 400% of the sacrificed health for 20 seconds. Also, if you don't have a pet out, this will sacrifice your health in return for the absorption shield. So let's sling that on us real quick. We'll go ahead and put up a Dark Pact. And as you can see, it is almost 128,000 shield. So just use this whenever you see fit. It's a great defensive. It seems like in Legion so far, they're really wanting to make Affliction Warlocks very tanky. So yeah, I love this talent. For the level 90 tier, I play with Grimoire of Supremacy. Pretty much this allows you to use your Summon Infernal and Summon Doomguard as pets. A quick overlook on the pets that you want to use. Right now I have Doomguard active. It's pretty much a caster. You have one ability which is called Cripple, which is on a 30-second cooldown and reduces the target's movement speed by 80% for 30 seconds. In PvP that will be 4 seconds. It's only on a 30-second cooldown and it's a great slow. So also we have a Shadow Lock, which is our interrupt. It's only on a 24-second cooldown and of course will prevent it will interrupt the target and prevent them from casting anything in that skull for 6 seconds. Against melee, I like playing with the Infernal, as it does provide a 2-second stun, and it also has a purge effect. It purges one beneficial magic effect from an enemy, and this is only a 10-second cooldown, so you can be purging rather often. And also for the 2-second stun, it's on a 1-minute cooldown, so it is a long cooldown for just a 2-second stun. But I'll take it. It's good against rogues. Whenever rogues first open up on you, especially in duels, you can go ahead and stun them right off the bat to prevent some of that incoming damage. Or you can stun them whenever you get ready to set up, so you can get out a couple of unstable afflictions before they get back on you. So depending on what you're fighting, if you're fighting melee, play with the Infernal. If you're playing against casters, play with Doomguard. Whatever you prefer at the time. Back to the talents. In the level 100 tier, I will be playing with... Well, I've been playing with Phantom, Singularity, and BGs. As it does, you can put this on a target, and every target within 25 yards, including the target you have it on, is going to take damage. So it's a great AoE damage. But in a arena environment, every soul shard you spend has a 20% chance to be refunded with Soul Conduit. So I would imagine that in an arena specifically, that Soul Conduit would be the better talent. As whenever you spend those unstable afflictions with your soul shards, you could potentially get those back and continue to keep those up to do a large amount of damage. So in a BG environment, Phantom Singularity. In a BG arena environment, Soul Conduit. Okay guys, as for the stats, Blizzard has pretty much made these baseline and will adjust them accordingly. Whenever you enter a battleground or an arena or whatever, they will adjust these stats will be adjusted for you from there. But we really don't have much control over this anymore. The gear doesn't play as huge of a role, so of course Blizzard will be adjusting those stats at their own rate. But still, just so you guys know, haste and mastery will still be our best bet, as of course haste will cause our dots to tick at a faster rate, and mastery of course increases the damage of those dots. So those are our main stats, but we don't have much control over them anymore. And also something that I wanted to touch on, this is a Legion pre-patch guide, so we don't have access to the honor talents yet. Whenever we reach level 110, and of course things are subject to change with the beta, so whenever everything gets straightened out, I will of course do a follow-up guide where I cover the talents, the honor talents, the artifacts, and everything like that. So we will have to wait till 110 before we get a complete guide. So just for now, we will be covering the talents. Of course, we can't do much with the stats, and I'll of course go straight into the rotation. Okay guys, for the rotation, rotation is really simple. Pretty much we want to just maintain our dots like in the past, except for we don't have to worry about the Soulburn Haunt and such. You just want to maintain your dots. And of course, when we get ready to burst, we're going to be using our Unstable Affliction. And of course, in a BG environment, you could throw in your Phantom Singularity whenever you see fit to do a ton of damage. To start off with on a target, you want to apply Agony first thing, as Agony does have a huge ramp up time up to 20 stacks to reach its max amount of damage. You want to make sure to put it on the target first. And also, it is what generates our soul shards now instead of corruption. So it is very important that you keep it on the target at all times, as it does generate our soul shards, and it does have ramp up time. So every target that you decide to dot up, make sure you put Agony up first. It will be followed up by Siphon Life, then Corruption, and you want to maintain those 3 dots at all time. And then of course Drain Life when you have the opportunity to do so, whether you need healing or just want to pump out a little extra damage. It's also important to note that our dots seem to fall off rather quickly, so if you're dotting multiple targets, be very careful and pay close attention to make sure that your Agony is not falling off the target. So like I said, it ramps up to 20 stacks, so you want to make sure that you keep it active at all times. As it does fall off, it will take forever to ramp back up to do its max amount of damage. So yeah, you just want to keep up your agony, siphon life, and your corruption. Drain life in between just to get some self-healing, do a little extra damage, or maybe you're multi-dotting and whatnot. You really don't have to worry about siphon life as much as you are going to be trying to spread your dots around. But you want to make sure to keep your agony up at all times and do not let it fall off. And of course, whenever I burst, I like to wait till I get 3 stacks of, well, 3 soul shards so that I can get up 3 stacks of unstable affliction, as it does do a ton of damage. So, and of course, if you have more soul shards than that, it will leave some left over for another time. That way you can have burst rather quickly. So if you have 4 or 5 soul shards, not a big deal. I prefer to use 3 as it does do a ton of damage, and leave a couple left over for whenever you want to burst next time. And of course, if you're building these super quickly, you can keep like 2 stacks of unstable affliction up rather often. But if you're kind of generating them slowly and you just want to use them for burst, that's perfectly fine. You just wait till you get 3 stacks, put up those 3 stacks of unstable affliction, and it does a ton of damage. And of course, we have 2 left over, so we will be able to apply 3 more stacks of unstable affliction rather quickly to the target. So, and of course, we already have 3 soul shards, so we will be able to burst again rather soon. Of course, we can go ahead and apply those and continue to do our regular part of our damage. So yeah, just guys, whenever you get 3 soul shards, dump those 3 unstable afflictions into the target and begin to drain life, or you can go to other targets and make sure that your dots are staying active on them. Make sure to keep agony up at all times. Do not let it fall off like I just did, but we're at the end of the video. I'm just explaining the rotation, so don't make fun of me. But yeah, guys, nothing too difficult there. Keep up your 3 main dots. If you're doing spread damage, like I said, they do tend to fall off rather quickly, so try not to juggle between too many targets. 2 to 3, and even with 3, it's rather difficult. You're not going to be able to drain life hardly any at all, because you're going to be bouncing between the targets, making sure the agonies are staying up, and of course, picking out your main kill target and applying those unstable afflictions. So yeah, guys, the rotation's super simple. Maintain your dots. When you get 3 soul shards, dump in some unstable afflictions to do a ton of damage to the target. You can use your Phantom Singularity whenever you see fit. If there's a large group around in a BG, throw it up. It's going to do a ton of damage. Otherwise, in like a arena environment, go with Soul Conduit. And of course, guys, once again, I feel like Blizzard has done a great job with Warlocks. They made us very tanky. The reason for that, of course, is we don't have what I would refer to as a huge burst. We're not going to one-shot a target unless we apply like 5 stacks of our soul shards into unstable affliction, and even then it's not going to die very quickly. So we are going to have that survivability with our Death Pact, our Soul Leech, and of course Siphon Life and Drain Life healing us. So yeah, guys, I really love the class thus far. I love having survivability, and I enjoy rotting targets. So if you enjoy these things, the Affliction Warlock is looking great. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Thank you for watching. Peace.